Hello, everybody. My name is Isaac Camacho, and currently, right behind me, I'm at the land that's being in talks about the future development of a data center occurring here in Harlingen. We're currently located next to the Harlingen International Airport. This land is also encompassing around 1,800 square acres. If we were to look off to the right, there is a water facility along with some palm trees in that direction. If the data center is built here in this general area, most likely those palm trees will be brought down to make way for the development. Along with, if we were to go off to the left about a quarter to a half mile away, there is some residential neighborhoods located in this general area. Currently, the wind gusts that are being produced right now are coming from the southeast, the general direction of the Gulf. If the development does occur here in town, the pollutants that are being produced by the data center would be carried along up in the air towards those residential areas. In this picture, it shows how close some data centers are being built near residential neighborhoods. Some things that the cities have been doing are converting residential land to commercial property, allowing these data centers to expand in the area. In many cases such as this, it makes it difficult for the residents to have a comfortable lifestyle, such as trying to sleep at night or having to deal with both noise and air pollution coming from the data center. Next is an example of a clip of a person dealing with the effects of the data center being in close proximity.
When I go to my room at night, the tonal noise immediately triggered my anxiety to the point where I couldn't sleep. I ended up having to go down on my first floor and put noise canceling headphones on just so I could sleep.
One of the main problems that is occurring with data centers is that they're not disclosing information to the public, or if they do, they omit key details, which brings concern on why they're doing that. They don't want the public to know how much damage is occurring. Let's go ahead and take a look at an example.
There's no transparency, and
with the data center companies or with local authorities? Or
both.
Yeah.
So anytime you ask a question, it's, oh, we signed an NDA, we can't talk about it. Oh, we're under NDA, we can't talk about it. So there's no transparency at all.
The site isn't complete yet, but she says the noise is already taking its toll.
Continuing with data centers popping up more and more, and how big they can be, the amount of noise pollution that comes from them, and the generators, which can range from 55 to 85 decibels. Next, we're going to take a look at a clip that shows an example of the noise pollution coming from a data center in a plaza that is near one.
To this, the ambient sound of Dulles Town Center in Northern Virginia, recorded on a phone. Three Amazon data centers sit roughly 200 meters away. I ran the audio through noise reduction software. Only then do you realize that hidden behind the drone of the data centers, there is birdsong.
Then with a constant hum, a person's being subjected to it may cause them large amounts of stress, then causes them to develop health and mental issues. The person in the clip has a son who has been developing nightmares because of being near one.
The American Public Health Association says chronic noise exposure can lead to serious health problems like cardiovascular disease or increased stress. Carlos's son started having nightmares.
Being next to these data centers are causing residents to spend a lot of money to try to improve their comfort of living by spending thousands. And it still won't improve it.
Really strong, you can even hear the windows vibrate.
He spent $20,000 on insulation and replacing all the upstairs windows. Still, the sound and the feeling of the constant hum keep him from sleeping.
Then the chances of you selling your home may be difficult. Because of having a data center nearby, it may discourage buyers, and the only way possible to sell the house is to drastically reduce the price.
Meanwhile, Carlos feels stuck. He's worried that the data centers will reduce the value of his home. and he'll never recoup the money he spent on it, even if he decides to move.
As we continue, we'll see a map of water droughts over the past 20 years, ranging from 2000 to 2025. Then we start seeing data centers pop up in those areas that are experiencing those conditions. On top of that, they're also taking over farmland and replacing them with data centers. As the electrical demand rises, the more generators are being built. Along with that comes with cooling to these facilities. And the amount of water to cool them will exceed millions of gallons of water a day, as we'll see in the next clip.
We're looking at a total of 280 generators at this facility, so it's a huge amount for a combined capacity of almost 800,000 kilowatts. It's located in an area of extreme water stress, and also we can see that the major basin that it's drawing most of its water is coming from the Colorado River.
Documents show that Microsoft planned for each of these buildings to use 1 million gallons of water a day, a total of 1.83 billion gallons a year. That's enough water for roughly 61,000 Americans, or a city the size of Santa Cruz, California. All this in a desert-like climate that is getting hotter and drier every year.
Then on top of that, some of these data centers are actually using more water to water their land instead of cooling their servers. Though this may seem like it's good for the land that surrounds them, again, most are located in areas that are currently experiencing water droughts.
Some of these data centers are using more water to irrigate their grass outside than they are to cool their servers inside.
An Aurora water official told us this one will need 1.1 million gallons of water a year just for this landscaping, double the amount used by the building itself.
These data centers produce a lot of air pollution and release toxic gases up in the air, such as formaldehyde and nitrogen oxides, and many others. In this next clip, we'll see how much gases are released into the air by kilograms an hour, and what is once a commitment to go green by some companies have now been abandoned because of power requirements.
Shows a plume of CO2 emissions released from the North Omaha Station facility at an estimated rate of 300,000 kilograms per hour. And let's not forget the thousands of backup generators we tracked, which, even if they run for just a few hours a month, spew harmful pollutants into the air.
That means that utility providers are either abandoning their commitments or significantly stalling their commitments to move away from fossil fuel. They're not going towards renewable energy sources such as solar or wind, for example, because those resources right now can't sustain the massive power consumption demand.
Then what doesn't help the cause to mitigate the growth of these data centers is that many states and cities are now offering these companies tax incentives and are for the expansion of these data centers in their area, even though they know what kind of effects they will bring with them being built.
What we found is that massive corporations are benefiting from various taxes in different states for their data centers.
With the number of states that offer this, companies don't have to pay taxes on heavy machinery, equipment, or building materials. Even lower water rates for their consumption of water. With the cities opening their door like that to allow these data centers to move in their own backyard, it's not fair for the people to have to deal with that and how damaging they can be for their environment, and to the communities that are already suffering from water droughts. If there was a way to allow more regulation and more research to be conducted to mitigate the damages caused by these data centers, it can help relieve suffrage. Lastly, we'll take a look at the power consumption of these companies. Just after 2015, the total power consumption of data centers was at a steady 1.9% in the United States. But as soon as the boom began in AI development, the total consumption drastically increased from 1.9 to 4.4% around 2023, and it's expected to grow in the range of 6.7 to 12% over the course of the next few years.
The AI frenzy has data center demand rising 15 to 20% every year through 2030. And as companies like Vantage build more and more, getting enough power is key. Data centers could reach a whopping 16% of total US power consumption by 2030, according to one report, up from just 2.5% before ChatGPT hit the scene in 2022. That's the equivalent of about 2/3 of the total homes in the US.
In conclusion, if we take the necessary steps to help counter the growth of the AI data centers and instill regulations to have these companies disclose their information about the actual resources that are being used, and enact other regulations to limit the number of resources they use, and if they exceed that limit, they will have to pay a heavier price for the usage, or have them convert to a greener energy solution. Things do take time, but if we act now, it can be a step in the right direction to have a cleaner planet and prevent more damage from occurring. Thank you for watching.